Welcome back, everybody. It's lovely to be back here. We are in the Google Studio, Google for Startups. It's an incredible state-of-the-art facility that Google offer startups. There are events here, there are programs they run, and there's this amazing studio as well. So we're going to talk a lot about building partnerships and why it's good to give to others. And I think this is a nice place to remind us why.
Place. And I'm just moving to a new startup, so Google, thank you.
So
thank you for supporting.
So we're
supporting
gonna
the
zoom
startup.
in this beautiful shot. We've zoomed into you. You got a camera right here. Show it up there, Amir. Guys, this is Amir. I'm so happy to have him here, and we're actually recording this before his first day at Deepchecks, which is really special. So, thank you for coming during this exciting, busy time in your life.
Oh, thank you.
You must be really excited.
Really busy, and also on the personal and also professional. So. But sometimes you meet amazing people like you, so I think it's a must.
Thank you. Well, look, you are one of the most interesting people in our industry and the most important voices because you have gone from working at system integrators to vendors, companies with a product they're selling, to system integrators to company with a product they're selling. You worked at Seller Group, which is a massive company who are a system integrator, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you worked at a company that was later sold to Intel. And I'm going to ask you about Granulate because you basically took it from 0 to 100 or however you say it.
Only what I did, but I didn't take it from 0 to 100. There's a whole team that was there
a whole team
before me and after me. But yeah, I was a part of this amazing group of people. A lot of very talented people came into Granulate. People like, of course, the founder, Asaf Ezra, Udi Tizan, the VP Sales, that until today is a good friend and one of my mentors. So shout out to Udi. He also have a new startup now, so you should have him also on your podcast.
Exciting.
He's one of maybe the best salesperson and mentor that I met.
Wow, that's amazing. Let's talk a little bit about people, if that's okay. The first question I want to start off with, because I've got you in this room when you've just, making this transition in your life now, is how the hell do companies find a good person to run all of their channel, partnership, cloud, alliances kind of motion? Many times, founders or VP sales or whoever it is that has chosen those to head the partnerships feel like they're maybe not making the right choice or they're doing something wrong because it's not taking off correctly.
Sometimes they don't know why it's not working. So it's not, it's like you hire somebody, you have the right experience, you got recommendations, everything was perfect. But then, the results are not coming so I think it relates, if you want to really answer this question, so you need to be, if you're a leader, so you want to be true to yourself about the situation that your product or company is in. What do I mean? Maybe it's not the right time for partnership. Mm-hmm. Maybe the guy that you brought in was a good partner manager or a good alliance manager or a channel sales guy in a certain product or a certain company, and it's not like moving from in the same size apartment, but moving from Kfar Saba to Tel Aviv, five bedroom in Kfar Saba, and then you move somebody in a 5 bedroom in Tel Aviv. It's 5 bedroom, right? No, it's a different story. So this is one thing that many people are taking it. I think they're doing it wrong. They think that they need to bring biz dev people always, or alliance people or channel people. Yeah, experience is important, but you need to see that the person is really hungry, okay, for the position that you want him to do. And when I say the position, so don't just call it partnership, okay, on which partnership he's going to be, which kind of partnerships he's going to drive in your business to bring success, okay? Is it going to be tech partnerships? Is it going to be alliances with the, the cloud vendors? Is it going to be channel sales? Maybe all three, a little bit of everything. And it really depends what kind of product. Are you a security product, Gen AI, databases, stuff like this? And where are you in the journey? Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe it's too early. Maybe it's too late. Okay, so you got to be really true to yourself. That's one thing. And then the answer, I think, my perspective, is to bring, I come from sales, from direct sales. I've been a salesperson since I'm 13 years old. Selling olive oil, dog food, delivering newspaper,
No way.
working in the Dead Sea, kiosks when I was older after the IDF service, and all that. So you gotta. I think it's better to find those sales guys that are not, annoying salespeople that were only after their quota. Okay, yes, they're good sellers, but they're a people person. Okay. They like to help other people. So why? Because you want them to be helping your AEs work shoulder to shoulder, win together. Your partner manager need to win with your sales team.
Yeah.
Okay. He cannot be separated from them. In Granulate, I was best friends. Okay. Best friends with the best AE. Orgil, okay? He's now in 0.5. And then he became a director of sales. And we worked shoulder to shoulder and won together, okay? So it's very, very important, and a lot of people miss that. So I think that taking somebody from sales that is interested and, a very senior SDR or a very senior account executive, that you interview him and you see that he's curious, you see that he's a people person, he's not a jerk, he's not like money, just quota. Yes, he goes after his goals, he likes challenges. That there's a way to check that, but see that he's built for this kind of roles, and then he's going to bring his salesmanship into the partnership, because people that from their first day they were biz dev, okay? When they need to transform and they need to build things from scratch, to build a partner organization, to build new relationship, and to win from nothing, from having zero deals with partners, zero cooperation inside your company and all that, it will be very hard for him, because he needs to sell 3 times. He needs to sell inside his organization. He needs to sell to the partner to convince the partner to work with him. And then he needs to sell with the partner, okay?
Yeah.
Because it's on-the-job training. If you just give them documents, one-pagers and all that, enablement sessions and videos and, and all that, and drink with them beer and all that, yeah, it's nice. But in the end, you need to bring them the first lead. You need to bring like the Jewish say, the nedunya to the marriage, and then you win with them. They smell the blood like sharks. They understand they can duplicate this. They say, okay, we did a $1 million deal. We got 25% out of it, rev share. So we got $250K. Okay, if we do 5, 6, 10 deals, this is how much our company going to make from this. I want to allocate resources for this. I want to invest in this. I want to go all in. I want to focus on Granulate or whatever the product is, and not on other products, because this system integrator, value-added reseller, MSP, no matter what, he's currently, before you already approach him, he's already doing business with somebody else, because he have a business. So you need to distract him, okay, and say, hey, I'm the nicest and the most beautiful startup and the one that's going to make a lot of money and get you, sometimes it's about not just the money. It's about you helping the partner be different than other partner in his territory. And because of you, he's going to be the innovative partner. He's going to look better in front of AWS or Google. And there are many things that you need to think about.
Sometimes companies have built relationships with the large cloud solution providers, be it the Googles, the Azures, and they have the logo on the website as a partner. They do some joined events together. They have a lot of coffees, they're best friends, but they feel like it's still not taking off and they're not really seeing anything coming from this partnership. They're one of a million accounts that the account manager is managing, and how do they really make a breakthrough? Could you just give a few tips based on what you just said about the kind of person that should be doing this role, what it is that they should be doing with the cloud service providers to kick off the relationship and actually get the motion working?
So I've been working with the cloud providers on the ISV side, but most of my experience is also on the system integrator side, doing deals like we talked about Nira Tias from MongoDB. So we had a great partnership in ComIT with MongoDB, and so that's what they talk about in AWS, for instance, on Power of Three. How do you bring value to your customers with you as an ISV, Mongo? System integrator, that's the second one, ComIT. And then the third one, of course, the platform AWS. And how do you win together and bring value to the customer? So it's not just a catchphrase, Power of Three, okay? The irony, and I don't want to take credit for it, but I was talking, for instance, with Udi and Granulate about this triangle of Power of Three before even AWS in the last 2 years started talking about it a lot, because it's just the right thing to do, okay? Because if you want to penetrate to the East Coast in the United States, you're an Israeli startup. You're already in ISV Accelerate. You're on the marketplace of Azure, Google, AWS, everything. And you're not getting deals. Nobody gets deals. Okay? So you're not alone. Okay? You need to do a couple of things. So the first thing to do is to understand that you need to do this better together story of a local system integrator that the cloud provider relies on, okay? ComIT and other system integrators like CloudZone in Israel, okay, everybody know, Automate IT, and many others, they work every day with Google, with AWS, with Microsoft. They do migrations, they do modernizations of application, they resell the cloud, okay? They do FinOps, they do so many things for their customers. The customers use them as trusted advisor. They come to them, they ask them, should I buy Wiz or Palo Alto? Let's do a POC on both of them, and you help us to decide, okay? So they are very important, okay, when you want to penetrate the East Coast. So you go to AWS and you ask them, who are the partners that you like to work with? Who are the premier partners that deliver, let's say you're a security startup, okay? So who is the best CPPO or reseller for security products? And they'll tell you. They're not going to hide it. It's okay. They will recommend always on more than two because compliance and all that. But, you want to go and then you approach them. Sometimes they even will help you to get to those system integrators. And then the one thing that people miss, there's many things that people miss, but I think the one thing that you need to do with the account managers in the cloud vendors is to know how you bring your message that you're helping them to drive more revenue of their cloud services. Because this is what they're busy all day long. They're doing so many things. They have 20 companies on their portfolio, sometimes 5 if it's massive, or even 3. And then, they're freaking busy. Okay, and everybody comes to them. Introduce me to this, introduce me. Okay, so who do I choose? Do I choose Snowflake? Do I choose who? Okay, so usually it will be easier for companies, for startups that do not compete with native services of the cloud. Although if you're competing, you still have the road for success. E.g., you can look at MongoDB. They are NoSQL database, and they manage to do it, okay? Then they sell a lot with the cloud vendors. But if you are not competing and you're actually, helping and accelerating deals for them and new workloads for them, so you need to bring the right message. How are you helping them? Second thing, we talked about it when we had coffee, is that you need to help them. What do you mean? Not just try to get deals, but help them. Okay, you got intel, you got intelligence about a lot of things because you work in the industry, and you know that the customer that is a dark customer in their portfolio, or, or is spending only $10,000 with them and $300,000 with Google and only 10K with Azure, and you're in front of an Azure account manager, and you want him to introduce you to a specific account, and then you are giving him intelligence on another account. You came for one thing, and you're actually helping him to protect another account or to penetrate to another account, and you give him a lot of things that it's hard for him to know, because you are connected with everyone. You are talking with all the cloud vendors, with other ISVs in the industry. So you know a lot of things that sometimes somebody that is buried only selling AWS, only selling Google Cloud, sometimes they don't know everything, okay? They're very strong, but you can help them and ask them, okay, what are they measured on? How you can help them reach their goals. Don't be afraid. Tell them, ask them, how can I help you get to your bonus? How can I help you reach your quota attainment? How can we find new workloads together? Okay, help the person, even if you're not getting direct deals out of it, and it will come big for you, okay? Either if he switches jobs, either if it's not the right time now, and in 3 months it will be the right time, he will remember that you helped him and will pick up the phone for you, or when you're going to meet in a immersion day or whatever, he's going to work for you and bring you another deal or another opportunity. So it's about helping each other and bringing true value to each other, and not just meeting for coffee or beer and laughing and talking and about the industry and all that. And, we can all be friends, but you want to be practical. Are you driving business together? Are you bringing real insights for each other? Are you really helping somebody? Okay, and that's something that a lot of people miss because they are so, afraid that they won't be focused only on their goal, getting this account manager to open the door for Iron Source or for this company that I want to get to.
Yeah.
And it don't work like that. So that's another very big tip.
I think there's a really clear message that you're sharing, Amir, and it's that when it comes to working with cloud service providers, to building relationships with partners, and to making your channel an engine that's running, that's scalable, that's growing, you need to approach it very strategically. You need to come to build relationships on the one hand, to sell on the other hand,
Totally.
to give best customer support on the other hand. So it all needs to come together, and there's a whole spider web of things that you want to be doing. So it means, yes, it takes time, but that doesn't mean that time needs to be incredibly slow. It means you need to be keeping up momentum. There's a ton of stuff to be doing.
There's a ton of stuff. I can tell you in Granulate, I came in 3 months, I got promoted to become the director of partner channel sales, and also recruited people to my team. And I wasn't promoted because of I'm not that beautiful. Okay, so I got the promotion because yes, I did the onboarding, everything was great and all that, but very quickly I understood. We talked about Orgil, we talked about the other salespeople. Bringing them information, helping them to convert deals, finding those little partners, okay, boutique partners that can move much faster from the monsters. You go to do, you want to do a partnership with Wipro or Accenture. It will take you 18 months until you get your first lead from them, okay? And not because they're bad. Once you start, you can get a lot of deals with them, but sometimes it's not the right partnership for the startup. Or for the company that you're working with. Yeah. So I think that go as fast as you can to align with the salespeople and understand how you help them and who are the partners that can get you the most effective opportunities, demos, deals, and insights. And don't be afraid to pay them, okay? And be generous. Okay, don't think, okay, this guy only opened the door, that guy only gave me information after I already reached to the customer. But if he advanced the deal for you, if he did something, I saw a deal that was stuck for 18 months, another POC and another POC. 3 times the customer wanted to do it again. He did this one time. He said, "I don't see the value. I don't see this." And in the end, I found a partner in the region that was basically the partner that already sold him products. And the partner came to me and told me, "Why are you not involving me?" And then I went to the CRO, and then they told me we cannot pay him now 30% or what. I told him, okay, let's pay him 15%. Okay, less. I don't know. Tell me, give me a number.
Or just don't close the deal and move it again and again.
Give me a number, and then they didn't want to do it. And then 2 months passed, and then I managed to get the CEO of that partner to meet our CEO. Okay, and then he told him about the situation, and then my CEO came up to me and told me, "Why are we not involving this partner in this deal?" And I'm like, the sales org said no, they don't want to double pay, and he didn't bring the deal. He just came in the end, and all this, and I was like, and then he asked me, "Is he gonna help us close this deal?" And I said, "I think yes." He's connected to the people that we are connected, and he's already sold them stuff, and he's speaking the same language as in freaking South America. Okay, they speak Portuguese in this country, Brazil. And it's obvious that he got an advantage that we do not have, and it's not the first time. He's drinking beer with this customer for 6 years, selling him 3 different products. Why not? And then we involved him, and the deal moved another stage forward. Okay, so I think this is the kind of things that sometimes founders they are looking on just the margin and all this. I think the biggest tip is focus on revenues, because you need to get your next round, okay? And also be generous with your partners. They will keep you safe, so when the direct replacement come, they will protect you in the renewals, okay? And I think that it's super, super important to understand that when you sell $1 of software direct, and you invest in marketing and in SDR and the account executive, and you pay them, and you need to hire them, it costs money and all that, so you're getting left something like, out of $1 that you sell, you're getting left with 50 cents, sometimes less. Okay, cost of doing business. Okay, so if you're getting deals from a channel, so you helped him, so on the first deal you get 50 cents, because you need to pay everybody, and you pay him another 10, 15, 20%, it doesn't matter. But then he's starting to bring in deals, so you do not need to hire an army of SDRs, an army of account executives, okay? And he's accountable, and he's local, and he speaks the language, and his friend, so you got so many benefits over there, and it's much more sustainable. And then in the end, your margins grow as a company. So it's much better to be with channels in the end, because it's only going to cost you between 15 to 30%. Where if you're going to grow, you need to manage so many, once you have too many AEs, you need a director, then you need a VP, and then you need a VP for each location and all this. What happens if you have a strategic partnership in a region and you decide that you're not hiring local sales rep over there? And the partnership becomes so strong, or you're hiring only one sales rep, okay, to work with 2 partners in the region. And those partners become so strong that they represent you so good that they become your brand almost, okay? And I saw that happen. It can happen.
I love how what you're saying is bringing together all the different benefits of a partnership. So, of course, there's a sales side, but then there's also the brand awareness and the marketing side. There's also the technology and the product side. And there's also the customer success and the growth side. So when you're starting with a partner, it's not just about those deals that they're bringing in. It's about the future upsells. It's about how they place you in the market.
About insights.
It's about insights.
They're going to tell you, listen, customers are not looking for these features. They want this. This is what is missing for them. And then you might pivot a little bit of some features that you have in your backlog, and you said, okay, the most important feature is this and this, and no. And they will give you the real insights. This is bottom up, okay, from the ground, like what your next customers and your prospects really need. It will help you sell more. Okay, so
Around a year and a half ago, I started this journey of building this company called Zugit that I founded. And I made myself a deal that I'm going to do it if I, at least for a year and a half, only listen. I'd read books on like falling in love with the problem and all that stuff. And I wanted to challenge myself if you could really shut up and listen. So I started having calls with companies. I've now spoken today with over around 400 different companies.
whew,
And one of the things that
you have patience.
I enjoy it, but the biggest thing that they're all missing, and I'm talking now less on the startup side who are figuring it out and more on those well-oiled channel partnership, ecosystem-led growth businesses, is they lack partnership intelligence. So we're talking about customer intelligence that you can get from a partner, but what about partnership intelligence? So my question to you now is, when it comes to well-oiled machines, the Intels, the Checkpoints, the large companies that already have the Palo Alto networks of amazing ecosystems and channel partnerships, how do you keep optimizing it? Like, what is it that you think that they need to do? Because they're all competing with each other at the end of the day, and the partners, they're double dating. They've got about 20 products that they're selling. What do you think it is that they need to be prioritizing now?
I think they need to. It goes back to, you wouldn't imagine how, I'm not gonna say names, but massive, brand names of products. They're selling through channels, distributors, and they're missing the power of three thing that we talked about. They're like, why should I let my partner sell via the marketplace, and I don't want AWS or Google to get into my business now, okay? And why should I take a existing deal, and move it to the marketplace? And they don't understand it. They don't understand that they need to help their channel partners to go into the next era of channel sales and marketplace and co-selling and all of that. And the ones that are missing this, they are afraid to break their current channel teams or methodology. Because, for instance, in the United States, you got companies that are selling via channel successfully, and this is for like 40 years, okay? 40 years. So, 50, since the days of IBM, and now it's hard for them to understand. They have new products or new features or new product lines, and they don't understand that what was working, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 3 years ago, it's not going to work for this product line, or a company that they acquired, okay, or something like that. And I think that this is something that channel and VP partnerships and all that, they should challenge themselves on a regular basis. Okay, this is also something that, when I worked with Udi, so the first thing that he told me, in the first month that I worked with him, so he surprised me. He's like, I told him what I think about like a topic, and my strategy, my methodology of a certain thing about partners. And then he told me, no, I think differently. I think this and this and this. And then in the end, he told me, but you know what? You're in charge. You brought different approach. Maybe I have a blind spot.
Oh.
So he told me about the blind spot. This is something that I'm challenging myself to. Now I'm going into Deepchecks. I don't know if the things that I did in Granulate are going to be, it's not copy and paste. I'm trying to invent myself in every position, okay, and see what is the most effective thing that I can do for the company in the specific stage. Because when I came into Granulate, they were, after recruiting $50 million, and on the crossroad of either recruiting another $100-something million and then, or being sold off. In the end, we sold off to Intel. We've been sold off to Intel, and this is not, for instance, the stage of Deepchecks. So most likely, I'll need to go for a different approach. Not just that, it's a Gen AI LLM evaluation product that was a cost reduction product. Okay, so it's you cannot just copy and paste and expect that things will happen.
I met one of the most well-known, experienced channel partnership leaders who built an amazing ecosystem in one of the top companies, and everyone that I know in the industry is learning from. And he said one of the most humble things to me. He said, Naomi, I'm from the old days, and sometimes experience is baggage. He said, we've gone into a new era now with all the new AI products that we're pushing at, with what's going on in the crazy markets, with how buyers have changed and how partners have changed. Everything needs constant reevaluating.
You get something. Let's just talk for 1 minute about what happened with the cloud adoption. Okay, nowadays you come to a company. Okay, doesn't have to be the most techiest company in the world, but they transferred their infrastructure to the cloud. They migrated, and they signed a commitment for 3 years or 5 years or 2 years, and they have a budget, $30 million that they budgeted to spend on their infrastructure. But AWS, Google, and Azure let you not just to spend on their products, about 25%, and in Azure, for instance, it can go up to 100% of your commitment. You can buy in the marketplace ISVs. So a lot of times, if you're not asking the right question and you're not envisioning your customers and you don't understand as a channel director, VP, or whatever, what is the right why to work with the cloud vendors, let's talk about procurement. For God's sake, it's already budgeted. You don't need to find a budget. You're actually helping, okay, the CTO that maybe he's close to the end of his commitment and he's going to lose money because he's not going to spend another $5 million in a year. And you're helping him. You're telling him, listen, instead of buying my security product for $2 million, getting a new budget, going through procurement and all that, it's already budgeted. You can buy it on the marketplace. Less questions. The procurement will support it. And you might get benefits, discounts, and we can get you POC funds. We can get you this and this funds and stuff like this that can get you more credits, more stuff. There are many, many benefits to this. And if you don't notice it and you do not collaborate, maybe you can do all of this thing. And the reseller that helps you in the deal is a reseller of his entire cloud. Okay, so the entire commitment is not just with AWS. He might done this commitment via a reseller of AWS or Google or Azure. Okay, so connect the dots.
Connect the dots. So when your salespeople are getting on a discovery call today, they need to be asking the questions about the business, even in terms of what cloud they're on and how their infrastructure works and who they normally buy tools like yours via. And if there are people that they've helped with the procurement process in the past that might come up again, you want to have all of that already laid out before you start the sales process. You want to also collect that data and make sure that you have it in the system. Because when you one day come and let's say you work together with one of the cloud providers on this account, that's going to be intel for that. But it's also going to help you give a better offering to the customer and work better with the partner.
And it comes to the little things, you know. You work with Salesforce or HubSpot. Doesn't matter what is your CRM. And a lot of companies, you know, you mainly see it in the startups, but sometimes it's not organized well, even with big companies. Like, okay, you get the customer page, okay, on your CRM. You see your emails are connected, everything, the entire threads, you know who's the last guy that talked to him, everything is updated, okay? But do you have in front of your face, okay, all the insights that who is the partner that might be the right one to work with? What kind of infrastructure? You know, you got to have everything in front of your face, and you need to document it. What kind of things, like, for instance, if you met with the account manager from AWS and just you talked about your product, everything was great, he helped you, but you continued the conversation and he told you, oh, for God's sake, you know, this migration that we're doing for this other application of the same customer is killing me. he's complaining and all this and blah 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 and all that, and then you find out there's another workload, there's another environment, okay, that is like gold to bring this information to your own sales guys
Yeah.
for expansions and stuff like this, okay? And you might even help if your product can help in the situation that the AWS or Google rep is stuck into. And he didn't even connect the dots that your product helps. Like, let's say you have a product that is like a faster Kafka or whatever, and they got stuck in a migration, and you can help them to accelerate the migration with your Kafka product or whatever, and you solved him this problem. And you were talking with him about a workload that is already in the cloud, okay? Because Kafka can do, for instance, it can help in migration, but it can help also in production.
Yeah.
If on different use cases, and then you came for one thing, and then you found another workload, and you helped him on another thing, and this goes back to the beginning of our conversation. This is not just you're gonna get another workload. You're gonna get this account manager in AWS or Google so happy. Ooh, he will bring you to his next customers and next deals. And when they have their team meetings in Google or in AWS, this is the stuff they talk. They will say, you wouldn't imagine this ISV, Deepchecks, CoreLogix, Granulate. We were working on one thing. He helped me and gave me insight on this. It saved my, pardon my French. I don't want to say it. It saved my ass. I'm going to say it. Okay. and then the guy that sits next to him says, hey, I have the same use case in my customer. Connect me with them. This is your next deal.
Yeah. Fantastic. I really love it. We're going to start wrapping up, but I think that you've basically walked us through when it comes to channels, partnerships, cloud, who you want to be hiring, how you want them to work, what they should be focusing on, how they should be prioritizing things. And that's coming down really more to the giving at first, to being strategic, to making sure that you're working on the right kind of accounts with the right kind of partners. I think one of the most important things also you've mentioned is about being collaborative, because you need to be someone who's going to sell internally so that the other teams work with you, externally so that the partner partners with you, externally again with the customer because
of the partner.
So there's a big job here for people running.
And sometimes you don't have the resources in-house. Like you have you can get to an account that you really wanted, and your solution engineer cannot come. Okay? You should be fully capable of at least presenting your product, asking the right question. Sometimes the account executive cannot join, okay? Warm, you can actually help him, to get the stage ready, and then he will come in for a second demo or the follow-up one. It happened to me. And and it's okay to say to the end customer with the partner, we'll have to check about that and that. And, and this is why we need the follow-up, but we just wanted to qualify together with you to see that we're really going to help you, and this is something that can bring you value. Customers will, so it's going to be a shorter meeting, but at least you didn't lose the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And then you bring the big guns when the time is right. There's many situations that channels guys need to understand that they need to be on the ground and solve sometimes.
We are at the most exciting time for businesses, for tech, for selling, for partnering. And there are so many different ways that everyone should be pressing refresh, changing how they work. What's incredibly clear to all is that partnerships are going to help you when it comes to building your product, to selling your product, to marketing your company and everything. And you want to do it right. I love the energy that you're bringing to this.
Oh, you got to have energy.
I love how you're doing it. And in all of your jobs, it's really clear why you've made it work so well, because it takes a lot. And it takes a village to make the partnership person work as well. And because, you're going to need their support and everything.
You got to have sponsorship, executive sponsorship. And if you don't have your CEO, VP sales, and, the GTM team with you, okay, don't expect your biz dev channel, whatever you want to call them, manage to do it, okay? Because it's a team effort. It's a team effort. And I think that maybe the best tip is to be humble, okay, for sales team, okay, because sometimes you have a very aggressive SDR,
Yeah.
okay. He's like, I brought the opportunity and all that, and then you know what happens?
Can't find.
No, you get the demo. You get the demo. But ask yourself, what are my conversion rates from demo to POC and from POC to close one? And you will see that when you have a channel involved, it will convert. It will convert much more. I can tell you from Granulate, okay? I can't tell you the numbers, but I can tell you that channels brought us 3 to 4 times, 400% more conversion than SDRs. SDRs did a lot of work in Granulate and did a fantastic job over there and brought strategic opportunities, okay? But if you look in the greater scheme and you look on the conversion, okay, partners will help you to accelerate deal, get new deals, but the conversion to close one and from demo to POC, it's amazing, okay? Because there's another person/entity that have an interest that this deal will move forward, and he have insights. You met the customer first time, he's already sold him 5 times in the last year or in the last 10 years. He have a relationship there, okay? What's the chances that this deal at least not going to go to a POC? Forget about close one. Moving from a demo to a POC, okay?
So if you work in a company who has a new product or has a new region that they're breaking into or wants to grow or wants to prevent churn and grow customer success, if you're looking to improve your product or if you're looking to market your company, then make sure that you are working in full collaboration with the best partners for you. They're out there. Your competitors looking for them as well. So the clock is ticking. You want to make sure that you not only sign up a partnership with them and put a logo on a website, but actually get to know them, what their drivers are, what it is that you could give them that's going to help. And you need to
show them that you win with them together. The first wins, you got to bring it with them.
There's always a thing on a closed one message, when like a deal closes in the company and you send the closed one, the A, it's the most exciting part of your job.
Or you ring the bell.
You ring the bell, but you write the notes. And then so many times at the end, there's like a PS, and thanks to the partnership team. so that's what this is all about. Changing.
And people usually forget about that.
Or they forget about that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can no longer afford to forget about that. And if you want to succeed as a business, you're going to have to change the mindset and you have to keep reinventing how you're partnering and be the best partner out there.
And I want to say to everyone, like, if somebody needs a tip or want to ask another question, I'm here for you guys and I'll be happy to help anyone. I help a lot of people in the industry. I'm proud of it because a lot of people help me, okay? I'm not a magician, and a lot of to get to the stage where I'm at, for instance, you wouldn't imagine with how many people I drink coffee and eat and do a lot of stuff, not just for their relationship and doing business, but yes, to learn. I don't know everything. I always have a blind spot and I'm always willing to learn. Gotta be curious. This is how I hire people. So I always hire curious people. This is the most important thing.
It's amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining. Congratulations. Watch out, Deepchecks. Watch out, Walt.
Deepchecks is coming. We're gonna help you drive your LLM workloads to production. Don't be afraid. Now you have something that can keep you not just safe, but also know that the quality is good and what you intended to have in the production.
So I'm gonna ask you after this in about 1 second if we can put a date in the diary from a year till now, when I know you would have smashed it your first year at Deepchecks. And there's gonna be so much that I want to ask about how you did it. So I really can't wait to follow this journey, and it's really exciting.
And I'm sure we're gonna do a lot of more episodes, and anything that you need. Fantastic. Let's keep this thing rocking.
Keep the partnership running. Yes. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much and best of luck, and appreciate everything you've shared with us.